You're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast. It's time for British Wrestling's sharpshooter, your host, Stu Harmer.
Welcome to Stu's Wrestling Podcast. We are on episode 71 today, and we are going to Continental Europe, to Holland no less, more specifically The Hague, to speak to the Dutch fighting machine, the sensei of chops, Kenzo Richards. Kenzo has wrestled across Europe for many years. He's very complimentary about the UK guys he's wrestled and the levels they can wrestle to. But I think Kenzo's modest. I think Kenzo's very modest about his career. He's done so much. We talk about his time with the Honky Tonk Man. The Honky Tonk Man used to come over for European tours. He stayed at Kenzo's house, and it led to a divorce for Kenzo. And you'll get to hear about that and more today on Stu's Wrestling Podcast. It's episode 71 with the Dutch fighting machine, the sensei of chops, Kenzo Richards. Enjoy. My guest all the way from The Hague in the Netherlands. My first continental guest, actually, because I've had UK guys, I've had American guys. It is the Dutch fighting machine, also the sensei of chops, Mr. Kenzo Richards, all the way from the lovely Netherlands this evening on Stu.
Thank you very much. That's an introduction.
Kenzo, how has it been in the lockdown times? That's what I want to ask first. More current times for you.
Yeah, well, man, wrestling-wise, it's like a disaster, but oh man, I love it because this is my life. Everybody stays away from me, you know. I have a beautiful place where I'm at. I have a big wall 4 meters high, so nobody can watch me doing anything because I have a lot of privacy at my home and nobody's bothering me. So I have a really good time in the lockdown. Sorry to say, but it is. I really miss the wrestling. I miss the guys and girls from wrestling, but man, the rest, the peace, it's great. Yeah, and my body lost the rest now, so yeah, I'm pretty okay.
That's good that you're positive. You know, we get a mixed response from the guys we've had on about lockdown, but that's cool that it's been positive for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. I try to stay in shape because the gyms are open here, and I'm a physical education teacher, so I can do my rolls and my drills. So I try to keep myself in shape for taking the bumps, taking the rolls, doing the drills, because after the lockdown, when we have to do our thing again, I think that we don't have to underestimate the impact of the cardio it takes, because we're almost out for a year when the lockdown is going to stop. So I try to keep in shape. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. How's it been in The Hague? The case numbers and stuff like that. I like to ask you guys.
Yeah, the Hague is it's pretty high. Like Rotterdam, The Hague, the big cities are going up, but everybody stays the fuck out of. Sorry to say that word, but everybody stays away from me. So I give the signal like, get the hell out of me. Get the hell out of my way. Give me some distance, and it works perfect. I don't go to the supermarkets. I just get everything delivered, so I don't go to places. Yeah, man, I love it. I'm the winner.
Right, Kenzo, I'm going to go right back now to when you started the origins of wrestling training, when you first began, when you first went to do it. That'd be cool to ask you about that.
Okay, no problem. Well, in 2001, they started to program the WWE in the Netherlands on television because they had it on air in 1985 till 1989. And then after that, they had nothing. Then they had late night at midnight, maybe some WCW in 99, but that was it. So in 2001, they got back on a special channel in the Netherlands. And it was just at the time when WCW was going to quit, was shut down with the what was the angle again? Like the invasion angle?
Yeah, the invasion, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like the start of the internet, and I was searching like let's see if WWF still exists and what WrestleMania. And I was like, wow, so many WrestleManias already. And then I was searching if there was some wrestling in Europe. And then I found that they had also in the Netherlands, but it was still very, how you call it, like the first years of wrestling in the Netherlands. It was like not that kind of good level because, they were just starting. So I wrote them an email like, I'm Kenzo, I'm a judo teacher, former judo champion. I want to learn to be a wrestler. And they didn't respond. And it was in 2002 or something. And I was like, I just sent them a curriculum, like I'm this and that, this is my weight and stuff like that. And they didn't respond. So 2 weeks later, I emailed again, like, hello, I really want to train. And maybe it was like they were not interested or something. And then 3 weeks later, I got an email back like, oh, yeah, sorry, we had a problem and the mail didn't work and blah, blah, blah. So I did a first time lesson to see if I would like it and if they would like me. And from the first moment, I was like, this is it. Because the bumps and the rolls, they were like so easy for me. And I just had to learn to learn the basics, of course. I did train for that 2 or 3 times a week for 1 year full high intensity. And then I had to learn how to do all the entertainment side of stuff. That was great. That was the best thing there is. I don't know what to do besides wrestling because it changed my life. It's the best thing there is.
Did it help having the judo background early on in the training? Did that help you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like the rolls and taking the bumps. It was so easy because I was not afraid to take a bump, and it was like, oh yeah, this is it. It's like the rolls. It was easy. I've never done a bad roll or something. I'm a 3rd degree black belt. I'm a teacher in judo, so that kind of stuff was easy. But well, the thing is with judo, you always fall on your side, and with wrestling, you have to fall on your back, of course. So that was a little thing in the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, I have to take a flat bump, but that was done in 1 month or something. That was easy. Yeah.
Was there many training with you at the time in the early days?
No, it was very small. It's still not really big in the Netherlands. We have some pretty good pro wrestlers in the Netherlands, but it's not like in the UK where you have schools on every corner. It's like you have 3 federations in the Netherlands, and I think they have 2 training schools. So it's not very big, but still, I think the level is quite okay. And the basics was like not training in the ring, maybe once a month or once in 2 months. We all did it on crash mats and stuff like that. So it was very basic in the beginning. Yeah.
When was your first match, Kenzo? What was the time from training into the? I
started in January 2003, and I think my first match was I made part of a show in 2003 in I think August, and my first match was like in November 2003. Yeah, I really don't want to see that match again. Everybody's saying that, like, I don't want to see my first match again. So, well, I was excited, and I think we had no clue what the hell we were doing, like doing moves and stuff like that. And nowadays, you don't think about that anymore. Like, you do that move, you do that move. We just do the whole thing you have to do, right? Making a good story and make it exciting for the audience. So it was different.
When I was doing my research, Kenzo, is this true? You were trained by the Honky Tonk Man?
Oh, yes.
Please tell me how that was. I've got to ask you about that. I love the Honky Tonk Man. I love Wayne Farris. Legend.
Have you met him before?
No, I haven't had the chance. And like, I've been over to the States many times for WrestleManias, and gone to the conventions and stuff. But I've never had the pleasure of meeting Wayne Farris. I'd love to.
You have to meet him. Did you hate the Honky Tonk Man?
No, I liked the Honky Tonk Man when I was a kid. Yeah, I knew he was the heel, the bad guy, but I actually liked him. I had the figure.
When I was a kid, I hated him, and I'm happy I hated him, because when I've met him in real life, you have to hate him. Oh man, I have so many stories with this guy. Oh my God. Well, in 2004, he came to our show for the first time in the Netherlands, and he's something else. He's 1000% honest. You know, he's saying everything he wants, and it's like, oh my God, are you really saying this? Because when we took him on the road, we went to Belgium, we went to Germany, we went to the UK with him in 2008. He took me with him to WrestleSlam in Manchester on Old Trafford. It was like the Ultimate Warrior were there, Bret Hitman Hart, Road Warrior Animal, Beefcake, Kamala, all those guys were there, Janetti, and the Honky Tonk Man. And he was like, hey man, you have to go with me because it will be fun. So I was like, okay, cool. But the thing is, he was staying at my place for about 2 weeks or something. Man, it almost got me into a divorcement. Oh my God.
Why?
At that time.
Why, Kenzo? You gotta tell me more about this.
This guy at that moment, because he's cool now, because he's getting older. He has his business fixed, but in those days he was drinking a lot. And when he drinks, it's not like when you drink a lot. It's like, oh my God, oh man, he was drinking a lot, and like going to the place where they sell all the booze. And after the first day, they were like, hey, hello, are you here again? And he was buying a lot of shit. He was drinking the whole day. I can tell you stories, man. I will tell you. I've told this story before on a live stream, but it's always good. So the first time I've met him, it was in 2004. And when I was a kid, I really hated the Honky Tonk Man because he was the ultimate heel, and we were not smart. We were kids, and we were like, this guy is cheating. And from the moment he won the belt from Steamboat, we were all like, I hate this guy. And my dad was the Honky Tonk Man fan, just to trigger me, you know. And we were always fighting about it. So I always said, when I meet this guy one time in my life, I will beat him up. So in 2004, when I became a wrestler, I had a match against him. He gave some seminars, and we talked a lot about wrestling and the do's and don'ts. But at that moment, when you're really standing in the ring with him, you get fucking nervous, especially because you're only been in the ring for 1 year. So we did a match, but yeah, it was 2004. It was the first and second time 2005. I wrestled in 2005. He stayed for the second time at my place. And what was the thing? 2008 was the third time. That was the time when he was going berserk. It was the first time. It was like we brought him in like a superstar, and we invited people to have a drink and food at one of the guys' house, and we had a good time, and he liked it. Because he loves to talk. He wants to be the center of attention and talk about this, and everybody asking him questions. So he liked that. So in 2008, when he came back and was staying there for 10 days or 2 weeks, he was like, he was sitting in my living room at the table, and he was drinking. He said, hey, Kenzo, where's the party? Where's the party? Because he wanted to be the center of attention. And there was nobody in the house, only him and me and wife. And he was like, where's the party? Where's Marco? So Mark was the guy who had the party at his place the first time. I said, there's no party, man. I can call Marco. But he was drunk already. Like, he was hanging on the table. I said, shall I order some pizza? Yeah, pizza. So I ordered pizza. Marco I called Marco. I said, yo, Honky's my place, come in. So he was there in 15 minutes. And he was sitting at the table, and Honky was Honky Tonk Man. So he was like, yeah. He was really sitting there like, yeah. So after 15 minutes, Marco is sitting on the same table. It was me, Honky, Marco. And talking to him and didn't respond. Like, taking a bite of the pizza, and the cheese was hanging on his chin. So nowadays, when there's some cheese on the chin, wife says, come on, you look like Honky. Rub the cheese from your chin, right? So he's like, after 50 minutes, the guy is sitting 50 minutes next to him. He was like, hey, Michael. It was so fucking wasted. So, where's the party? Where's the party? So, he had a lot of money. He took the money. I think he had 5 grand in euros. He was like, for the party. 50 euro bills for the party. And he kept on going. I think I was laying for about 2,500 euros. I was like, I don't want your money, man. I was like, put it back. And it's for the party. So I took the money, put it aside, and we decided to give it back the day after because he didn't want it. I don't want to have the money. So he was fucking drunk. The week before, he told us like he had a bad hip because somebody tossed him over the top rope and he landed on his hip on the apron. So he had one big bruise spot on his hip, and every time he was showing it like, yeah, my hip hurts, yeah, I'm a motherfucker. He tossed me over the top rope and I fucked my hip, and I can't walk. So he was walking the whole week like an old guy. So I said, well, Honky, maybe it's time to sleep. Yeah, I will sleep on the couch downstairs. I said, no, we have a room for you with a bed, stuff like that. And then he started like, I don't want to go upstairs. He was almost crying, but he was wasted. So I was like, and my wife was like, upstairs, not on the couch. So we were like, come on, Honky, go upstairs. You motherfuckers. And he was walking like the old guy gimmick. So he said, I just have to take a piss. So he goes walking to my bathroom, and he's like, whoa, he almost fell off the stool because he was like drinking. And he was like, Marco, can you please help me? So Marco, the other guy, Kodiak, he's walking with him to the bathroom. Behind him. So I know you motherfucker, I don't need your help, you motherfucker. So he's taking a piss, and he was like, oh, he was losing his balance. Marco was pushing him like, come on, motherfucker, stay in balance. He was like, yeah, you motherfucker. And he's taking the piss. And then he was like, Kodik said, what the fuck are you doing? You're pissing your pants. And he was like, no, you motherfucker, I don't piss my pants. What happened was his waistband, he was pissing and talking like this. And his waistband was like, it was like on his dick. So he was pissing his own pants. Oh my God. So the thing is, I didn't piss my pants, you motherfucker. And then he sees that he's on the way. Oh, fuck. So we tried to push him upstairs. So he's taking the stairs. And then he's like, I want to go downstairs. We said, no, motherfucker, take the stairs. So we pushed him. Then he loses his balance. And Cody tries to push him back. And his hand was full on the spot, on the wet spot of the piss. I was like, you motherfucker, you did piss your pants. My whole hand is wet. So,
oh my God.
Yeah,
Beyond the call of duty, Kenzo.
Man, he had some bad days there. We went to Germany also. We had to take a stop in Germany at the freeway, and he was taking a piss again, and he was taking one of the toilets, and then he came out of the toilet, he opened the door, and his pants were on his ankles. He was like walking naked through that bathroom, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, at that moment, feeling ashamed, like what the hell was he doing? And every time he was like walking like the old guy, and every time that something happened, and we were like, oh my God. Then we had to do the show. We had a tag match with him and Dusty Wolf. Dusty Wolf played Dorian the Clown. Mm-hmm. And oh man, he was in the car, he was drinking, and we were like, we have to wrestle him in a tag match. Don't give him any more beer because he will be wasted. So in the car, we said, it's done. He said, give me a beer. Every time he said, give me a beer. So we gave a beer. And at the end, we were like, no more beer. The bar is closed. Bar is closed, you motherfucker. I don't talk to you anymore. So he was like doing this for 1.5 hours and talked to himself. Don't give me any beer anymore. Bar's closed, you motherfucker, dickhead. So he was sitting in the car for about 1.5 hours. And then we came at the venue, and there was Cannonball Grizzly. He was there. PN News. He was there with with 2 crates of the large-sized beers, and Honky's like a sprinter. He's like at PM News, taking 2 beers, 1 liters. He says, "Hey Kenzo, bar's open again," and we were like, "Oh my God." Drinking. So we were quite green at the moment, like in the beginning of our career, and we were getting nervous because he didn't talk about the match, and we had like 30 minutes, right? And he was like, we do it later. We do it later, because he was talking with everybody, stories and shit. He was totally in the spotlight, and we were like, come on, Honky, you have to make the match, because we got nervous. I don't know. We'll do this, blah, 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 blah. And he's talking. He's like in a modus, like professional, like bum, 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 bum. And we were like, what? It goes so fast. So he's making the match. And then the promoter comes and says, well, you're up now. He said, no, put on intermission. The promoter said, we are in intermission. We just had intermission. You motherfucker. And he was like, yeah. And we're like, this ain't be good, right? This is difficult. So he's walking there, and we come in, punching the clown, and then they made the tag team match. His music hits, no Honky. Oh man, we were like, please come in. So his music hits, still no Honky, and we are just hammering the clown. So he comes in, totally fresh, hair slicked back, and we were like, huh? Like he pushed in a button, like I'm the Honky Tonk Man and I can perform now. And we were like, and he steps into the ring and he says, you didn't expect that, right? And we're like, no. So the clown was also sleeping the whole afternoon, like, I'm drinking. So we were standing there with those guys like, oh my God. So my tech partner says, well, maybe it's funny in the match to do something funny because you're a clown, right? What funny moves do you have? He was like, I don't know. So we were like, okay, we're fucked. So the thing was, my partner said, well, I will drop down, and instead of jumping over me, you just walk like a clown with the big boots over my back instead of jumping over. He was like, okay, we can do that. So that was the start of the match. So he gives him the whip, he does do the drop down, and then the clown had to take the walk on the back. He puts on his boot on the back and he twisted his ankle and he lays flat down on his stomach in the ring. It was the first segment. And I was standing on the edge like, oh my God, this really is a nightmare, right? Everything goes wrong. And the thing is, because he was there for 10 days at my place, he went to one of my judo my lessons, because I'm a teacher. He he wanted to see the training, and he was sitting like the guy from Kill Bill with the mustache, the old Chinese guy, and Pan Wai or something, and he was sitting on the chair and like, almost like this, right? I was like, back in the car, I said, did you like it? I have some good plans. It's like the stuff you do is like the same stuff we did at the Stoelhart's dungeon. Most exercises are pretty the same. I was like, okay. And it is, because Stoelhart was trained by a Dutchman, by John Blooming, karate guy. So I said, well, why did you like this? He said, well, I have a big plan, but I will tell you later. So the day before the disaster in Germany, we went to Belgium, and there he was, Dusty Wolf and the Honky Tonk Man, together on the show. And after the show, he said, come on, guys, I'll introduce you to Dusty, because we wrestle him tomorrow. And he wanted to rip Dusty. So he said to Dusty, well, these are my friends from Amsterdam. He's a cop, and he's a judo champion. Just to make him nervous. I don't know why, but he was like, those guys are hard, are old school, they work tough. And Dusty was like, okay. So the day after, we go to Germany. We are in the car. He was like, with the bar closed, before the bar was closed, he was like, I have a little rip, because I saw you making the arm strangles, and maybe it's funny when you put me in the lock. I'll wrestle out, I'll click him, and then I say, watch out, he's a shooter, he's a hooker, right? That was his fun. I was like, why should I do that? Yeah, what is my rip to Dusty? I said, okay, because he will forget, right? He's drunk, he will forget. So we're making the match in Germany, and he is like, and then we had the match fixed. I was like, glad he forgot the segment. And then just before we went out, I said, and we do the thingy with the arm lock, right? And I was like, oh shit. I said, I don't want to do it because I respect the veterans, right? I can't put this guy in the arm lock. You're like, nah, you motherfucker, just do it. So he was like, you fucking do it. It's my joke. So we did the segment. I put Honky in the lock. And he tagged out. Dusty came in. And then in the script, I had to make the tag to my partner. But I didn't tag out because the plan was I'll just grab him and just throw him down with a legit throw and then put him in the lock. So the clown is standing there with the fingers like shaking. He's like, tag out. It was like the Doink mask. It was very ugly. Like, tag out. I was like, no, tag out. Please tag out. I said, no. So I grabbed him and gave him a legit judo throw and put him in the arm lock. And he was like, it's not funny, but he was like, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. That's in that lock. Please don't hurt me. And then his tag team partner, the Honky Tonk Man, was like, you've been ripped. And he had the fun of his life. And I was like, I felt so bad. So after the match, they were happy. We were like, what the hell happened here? So it was very, very different. But the Honky Tonk Man is a guy you have to meet. He's something special, but don't let him in your house.
You were lumbered with him for 2 weeks.
Oh my God! And
your wife, I can see it from that standpoint. The wife not being happy, because I can imagine my wife not being happy with it.
Never again.
What did you learn from Honky Tonk Man? What did you take away from Honky Tonk Man? Some of the advice from him. That'd be cool to ask you.
A lot of psychology. Like, do you want to? The thing he said, do you want to have a high spot? Yeah. You don't get any of them, right? Don't give them what they want. Like losing the title. You want to see me making a shooting star? Okay, I'll go top rope, but I don't do it for you because I'm the one who decides, not you. And his strong thing is like, I don't take this, I don't take that, I don't take that. Like, I can hear the same way, I don't take power bombs, I don't take chops. And I was like, in the beginning, I was like, are you fucking prima donna? But then later, when you understand wrestling, it's like, yeah, he doesn't take power bombs because he wants to see where he's landing. So if you take a power bomb, you just hope it's going to be okay. And when you're a professional, you have to do this multiple times a week. Just stay safe. And especially in the independent scene, you don't know the guys. You know, everybody thinks they're WrestleMania material, but we don't. So if you're an older guy in the business, it doesn't make sense to make a power bomb on a Honky Tonk Man or chop the shit out of him. It's not respectful, and no, it's stupid, and it takes courage to say like, I don't take that because I feel for myself. If I take a power bomb, my head will be for a couple of days. Like, what the hell happened here? Because after so many years taking bumps, the brain is like loose in the head or something. So you're more careful of taking stuff. And what he said was also very good. And it's not about fucking moves. Sometimes you take one bump or no bumps and the story is still good. Like he says, well, I did my song, guitar shot, show is over. Like he couldn't understand why there was a match after him. Like, I sing my song, gave it a guitar shot. So what's going to top that? And he's pretty right with that. What can you do more than the guitar shot? Yeah, I think in his way he's right.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Right, I'm going to ask you about trips to the UK. What have been some of your fondest memories over here when you've been wrestling?
Well, I'm never really nervous with doing shows or matches, never. But when you're in the UK, you know, how do I say that? When you're in the Netherlands or somewhere else, I'm never like I'm the worst guy on the card or something. But when you're in the UK, it's like, oh my God, this is a good guy. He's good. Everybody on the show is fucking awesome. So, yeah, it is. But it is. They're all technical, almost perfect. Some guys like doing the chain wrestling and stuff like that. It's like, oh man, I don't hope I have to wrestle Danny Collins. You know, that guy's amazing. But true. Yeah, this guy is still good. Yeah. So. I'm there with the wrist lock, and he's like, well, you know. So to me, it's always like it makes me sharp, like be focused. Because if you're not, I'm always focused. But if I'm not focused, you will be the worst on this show. I never want to be the worst. I want to make a good match. People can have good laughs. Talk about like, oh my God, this was intense. And I'm not the guy who wants to be the best on the card. I want to make a good match together with somebody else and give the crowd something special. Like, wow, those chops are pretty real, right? Or, oh, this guy can wrestle. It was like a lot of smart people in the crowds and making them think, wow, well, that was real. So, if you can make that feeling and for the people, then it's a good show. That's what I like. But in the UK, it's cool, but you have to work very hard for your spot.
You've said about Danny Collins. Who else do you hold in high esteem on the UK circuit? Which guys?
There are a lot of good guys. Because I will forget too many good wrestlers. The most underestimated wrestler in the UK, Joey Hayes. Excellent. This guy, we booked him from the start. When I started, he was on our show with Damon Lee as the Young Offenders. But this guy made us better because this guy was better than us. And about the psychology and stuff like that. I had some really good matches with Joey. Oh, now the names are coming. Ricky McKenzie, what's his name? Gradwell, Sam Gradwell had some great matches with him. He's in NXT UK now.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, this guy is good. He knows the business. Is trained by Marty Jones, but very down to earth outside the ring. Very polite. Good physique. He's a real wrestler. This guy will deserve his spot. What do you have more? Johnny Moss, one of my favorites. One of my favorite human beings, but in the ring is just business. Also a guy I love to wrestle. Cyanide. Big guy.
Yeah.
Man, he's agile for a big guy. So there are a lot of British guys I love working with, and I forget a lot of them because they also earn my respect. But I've never been in the ring with a guy from the UK who was like, that was a shitty match. Never had that. Never. Yeah, it's like some religion for you guys, right? Wrestling. Never. True.
I couldn't do it, but a lot of my friends who are non-wrestling fans, that's easy, that is. I said, you go in there. I said, you run the ropes, you take the bumps, and you tell me it's easy. I said, I couldn't do it. I hold my hands up. This is why I do the podcast. This is more my thing. But I hate it when guys have no knowledge and they'll look at it and say, that's easy. It's staged. It's this, that, and the other. And they don't get the art. They don't get the art form that it is. And it really annoys me.
But we all do the same with soccer players. Like, oh, I would score that goal, you motherfucker. Are you fucking blind? Everybody's doing that in the stadium. But it's an art, right? The same for the wrestlers. So we're always complaining until we have to do it for ourselves, and then it's difficult.
What would be your advice for young guys who are just starting out? I know there's not many shows per se, like worldwide. Yeah. There isn't many shows going on, considering what shows you normally have under normal circumstances. What would be Kenzo's tips for these young guys that are starting out training, maybe want to start training, haven't yet gone into it? What would be your tips, man?
Put your ego aside and just listen and do what the older guys tell you. Like the older guys who already are a name or made a name for themselves. The UK has a lot of good wrestlers, trainers. So just don't think, I have an idea, I want to be that guy with that and that move. No, use your ears, listen, watch, ask. Don't say, but ask. Because for me, like when I heard Honky talking in the beginning, I was like, yeah, maybe for you. But years later, I'm thinking the same. So it took a while. So everybody's doing in his early years stupid matches, ladder matches, hardcore matches, blading, stuff like that. You're only one body. It's your temple. Treat it in a good way, because you ain't gonna be a better wrestler because you're rolling through 1,000 thumbtacks, right? Just listen, watch, and ask. That's very important. And take a good trainer, because there are a lot of schools and there are also a lot of good schools. Just invest in yourself. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Also invest in yourself. Invest in proper training. Travel. Don't go for the cheap around the corner, but travel to a good school and make a network. Because when you do seminars, you will meet trainers, you will meet wrestlers, you will meet promoters. So a lot of those seminars are booked just before a wrestling show. Travel, let the promoter know you're traveling for 6 hours to be on his event, to do the seminar, and ask, is there maybe a spot or a battle royal I can compete in, or make yourself visible. And the networking is maybe one of the most valuable things, that people know who you are, make contact, make a good first impression. Don't be the wise guy, just Don't say it's like that, but ask stuff, and again, listen and watch. That's it. It's so easy.
That's good. No, people take away from that. I think also now in the UK, because there's so many schools now. When I looked into it years ago, it was just like the school All Star in Birkenhead outside of Liverpool. Now there's a lot, and as you say, it's picking the right school, isn't it? Because there's a lot of rogue trainers just trying to do it for that, aren't they? They're not actually teaching you the fundamentals. So sound advice, Kenzo. Absolutely. Just be careful who you're training with, isn't it? And who you're giving your money to.
Yeah. That's it. But the UK is quite big, right? So I can understand you if you have to travel north to south or the other way. I can understand people don't want to do that because it is traveling money. It takes time, but if you really, really, really want to be a wrestler, just invest your time and your money in a good place with good connection, because good connection have a good network, and there we are again, the circle is round.
Going to ask you now, prior to getting into wrestling, when you were a fan of wrestling, who were some of your favourites? Who were some of the guys you gravitated to when you watched it in 85 to 89, maybe? Who were some of the guys, Kenzo, that you just loved watching?
As a kid, you loved Hulk Hogan, right? But the real technical wrestlers I liked were Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, Ted DiBiase is the best guy who takes a good bump. Steamboat. I was sorry to say, I was never really a Macho Man fan. It was
what was it? What was it about Macho Man that you didn't like?
He was the heel, and I didn't like him because the storylines may be that good, and I was like, I don't like that guy, and it never disappeared again. It's like the same with Bret Hart. It's like when people are talking about Bret Hart, I see one half of the Hart Foundation. It's like Bret, the little guy from the Hart Foundation. And that's stupid because in those years, Bret Hart was the big superstar. It was not on television here. So I just see him as the Hart Foundation.
Oh,
nowadays I see him different, but when I was growing up, it was, the guy of the Hart Foundation, yeah.
Kenzo, he's still my favourite of all time. Obviously, we still got it in the UK, the time when it wasn't being shown over there. But
really?
I didn't have Sky TV for years, man. It was a guy with my dad. He used to tape it for me on VHS, or I'd go to my cousin's house. But by hook or by crook, I was watching it in the early 90s, getting my...
Well, I have good news for Bret Hart, you know? You know why?
Go on.
A lot of people say I look like Bret Hart, so that's good news for him.
And the shades. Yeah, absolutely. What about matches in that era? Is there some matches that still stand out today, that still hold up today in the modern times of wrestling? Because I've got a lot that still hold up.
It's not surprising, but the Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat is the best, to me, the best match ever, because the atmosphere and the story was so strong. That whole WrestleMania was great. WrestleMania 3 is one of my favorite. And well, I think everything with Kurt Angle in it is good, but maybe no. Ricky Steamboat was the best against Macho Man. That's the best match ever. Yeah.
Did you manage to watch that when it happened in Holland?
Yeah. I saw it live on Sky Channel. Yeah, I was
brilliant. That's cool, man, that you got to see that in 87, 1980. I was only one.
Well, it was the 1987 WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there on the couch. My parents were on vacation and my uncle was sitting there with my aunt and was like, yeah, it's bedtime. No, it's not bedtime. I'm Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. So I stayed up. But I was like, that Macho Man match, I was so happy he lost that belt. And as a kid, I was totally in it. It was real. And after that, Andre against Hogan, it was the best WrestleMania. When you're a kid, it's like, it's magic. That's the thing I always remembered. Like when you're in the ring, you have to make it something special because there are kids there and they believe it. So just work your ass off so they still believe it.
I was at Wembley Stadium for SummerSlam '92, so I got to see Brett and Bulldog. Dad took me, so we came from North Wales down on the bus, man. But I was there at 6 years old, man. In a lot of ways, I wish I was a bit older to appreciate it. I appreciated it, but I think I was a little too young. Things I can remember, like Lennox Lewis coming out with the Union Jack, Undertaker and Kamala. So well done when he came out on the hearse and all that.
That was a pretty good show. Was it 80,000 or something?
Oh, mate, it was just, and then just the whole day. Little bits I can remember. I wish I was a little bit older. I say that to everyone, but I was there, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I want to say, don't be a complainer. You were there, man.
I always put a negative on stuff, Kenzo, when I shouldn't put a negative on it. But it was amazing, man. It was amazing. What about modern wrestling now? Do you see much of it on television, or do you steer clear of it?
I stay away from it. I don't know. No time, no interest. I don't know. I appreciate those guys, their work, but I have no time for it, and I don't know where to search it. So sorry for that.
You need to see. You need to watch Walter and Isla Dragunov.
I heard it. He has some pretty chops. Also, I heard.
Yeah. You need to get in there with him. Have a chop off.
Yeah. Well, he has a different style. He gives him the sideways, right?
Yeah. He was hitting Dragunov in that corner. And Dragunov, he's not as big as him, but he's well defined. And Dragunov can go, man. And I think into the future, he'll be NXT UK champion because he's a star. You can see the star quality in him. You know, and on the independents prior to getting signed with WWE, you could tell a mile off. He's going to be a big character. You can just see it, but it's where they're going to take him.
I hope for the guys the lockdown will be shut down and have a normal way of living again, because those are hard times, because a lot of guys lost their work, and I hope in 2021 everybody's on the old spot again, because it takes a lot of time now.
It's all well and good, you know, like them filming them episodes at BT Studios in London, but there's no. You appreciate what they're doing, but no fans. It's just hard. No. It's so hard, isn't it? And I can imagine you can see it from a performer's.
It's like it's the whole atmosphere is gone, and they're talking to who? Because they're talking to the audience who isn't sitting there. So it's difficult. It's difficult for those guys, and just hope for them they get the normal job back, like perform for an audience.
Kenzo, where can we find you on social media so you can let the viewers and listeners know?
All right. On Facebook, it's Kenzo Richards. That's coincidence. That's my name. And on Instagram, it's the real Kenzo Richards. That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice and concise.
Yeah. Next time, if you want, we'll do some other great stories about other guys, because I have a load of stories, and not everybody's happy with it when I tell them, but I will do.
I will have you back on in the new year now, because I've got content till January. I've recorded.
Cool.
But I want to hear about other guys within the industry, man, because you can't beat it. You've been on them roads. And you've met some of the guys, man, that some, you know, huge stars, and definitely. My guest, I've got to read this again. The Dutch fighting machine, the sensei of chops, all the way from The Hague. Probably my second favourite person from The Hague. I like Raymond van Barneveld.
Oh man, he lives around my corner. He lives. I think 200 meters from me. Is for real? Yeah, he lives in the same.
You need to throw some darts with him, Kenzo. You need to give him a match.
Well, this guy's so depressed. I can't understand people will lose against him, because like the last 5 years he ain't throwing any darts anymore, because he's like. But that's a different story.
Yes. I had to bring him up just because of the link with the Hague.
But that's the thing. I'm your favorite guy from The Hague because Van Barneveld is not so great, man.
I've met you. I haven't met him. So yeah, you're back.
Oh yeah, okay.
You're number one. He's gone down. He's gone down till I meet him. But I'll take your word for it on that one. My guest all the way from The Hague is Kenzo Richards. This episode is brought to you in association with Powered 4 TV, so go and check them out for anything wrestling related, old events, new events when we come out of COVID, podcasts, you name it, it's all there at Powered 4 TV, so find them across social media.